Hi, this is Ann Hack from Green Talk. Previously, in another video, I interviewed Eric Corey Fried, who, in my opinion, is the organic guru of architecture. And we talked about his five residential picks. And I also did a video with him as well on his five commercial green design picks. Now, just to give you just a short bio of Eric. Eric has a very long resume, but just to give you a feeling about him, he's been in sustainability a very long time, and he developed a sustainability design program at the Academy of Arts University and the University of California, Berkeley Extension. He sits on numerous boards. He is as well as a practicing architect for residential and commercial. He's also written 4 books, such as Green Building and Modeling for Dummies, Green Sense for Your Home, and Sustainable School of Architecture. So I'm going to cut right into the video where Eric and I pick up where he starts talking about his 5 most loved commercial design picks. First up is 3Form Eco Resin. Am I saying that Eco Resin? Is that the way to say it?
Eco resin, eco resin. I guess it depends on what coast you were born on, but I call it eco resin. Yeah.
The one that I have up, that I picked the one that has gold going through it and kind of looks like wheat. This is gorgeous. Tell us a little bit about this. This picture does not give this product justice.
Well, 3Form is a product that ends up on pretty much every project I do now because I use it. It's so versatile. I use it for shower enclosures. I use it for cabinet doors. I use it for room dividers. I use it for office partitions. Right now I'm using it for a wine cabinet made out of this kind of crystallized eco-resin thing. And so it's just insanely beautiful. And part of the reason is because it's so flexible. It's high recycled content, highly recyclable, and then also made from a very kind of interesting resin process that is fairly green, as green as they could make it. And 3Form has really been the pioneer with all this. And there have now been dozens of companies that have tried to copy this type of clear penalized thing that you can embed anything into, and but 3Form still remains my favorite because of their commitment to sustainability, but also because of their design options.
Now, what is it made out of?
It's made of a type of a polyester resin, but done in a very unique way, a patented way that they've invented. That's a lot greener. And here you have a product that's incredibly durable and long-lasting, but also ends up being recyclable. So that's kind of nice.
Now, the cool thing about this, when I was on their site, is they had a lot of different variations. This is totally custom. You can actually custom this, right, as well?
Pretty much every order is custom. You can customize the thickness, the finish, the color of the actual resin, and then of course what's in it. So, the wine cabinet that we're doing right now, for instance, is has a kind of a polished satin sheen on the outside, so it's very shiny. But then on the inside are these natural bamboo reeds. And they're actual reeds, and because they're real and not fake, it gives it kind of a depth and a quality to it that you can't really find with anything else.
Have you found that when you're using this as dividers, can light come through it?
Oh yeah, I can completely control the opacity and the translucency of it just by changing the finish or the thickness. That's kind of the beauty of it. And if you go to the site, you'll see the range of options out there. So I could have everything be as clear as glass. They do make a glass product. With stuff in it, or kind of as frosted as I need.
And is it pricey?
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's pricey, but comparable to other things. I think it's in range with anything else that we'd end up doing in a boutique office or hotel or restaurant environment. And the funny thing is that most people have probably seen it somewhere out in the wild because it's now becoming so popular that you're starting to see it everywhere.
Okay, let's go on to the next one. Oh, just one of your favorites. Myoculture Foldscape Ceiling Tiles. This is beautiful.
So this is a company that we used before for the residential thing, talking about their lamp. This is for a commercial application. These are folding ceiling tiles, and they're kind of bananas. They're really crazy. They come in flat cardboard, and then when they arrive, you fold them up like a little kid would. They'd fold them together, and then they fit into a standard 2x2 ceiling. So since most offices have that icky drop acoustical ceiling tile, this replaces that. And oftentimes we'll get 20 or 30 of them, and then fill a whole center section of a conference room with these kind of hanging down stalactite things.
And what about fire rating? Does that matter? Does it? You still have to have the acousticals underneath? How does that work?
No, if well, we typically don't use the acoustical for fire rating. We use it for acoustics. So if you need acoustical barrier, then we'll lay something on top of it. The fireproofing comes above all that in the actual ceiling. But sometimes some people wear it because it's only thin cardboard. So up close, it looks pretty. It looks kind of inexpensive and cheap because it is. But once you have it in the ceiling, it looks really good. And then we're doing it now in a in an exhibition room, a permanent exhibit thing, and I just took those tiles and I painted them, and they look really weird and futuristic.
They kind of look like, I don't know if you remember this. Remember when you were little, when you made those paper like things on your fingers, and you did that game where people had to guess something. You know what I'm
Sure,
talking about?
the fortune tellers, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, they do kind of, and they come in different shapes and patterns, and yeah, they kind of do look like that, don't they?
Hold on one second. We're going to go to the next one. Daisy Cake suspended chains. Again, this picture does not give the product justice. It's kind of hard to see. Tell us a little bit about this product.
Well, I wanted to pick stuff that was unusual that nobody had seen before. And Daisy Cake is first of all, it's a funny name, but it's also a weird kind of product. They make this recycled aluminum chain, and the chain comes in a whole range of colors. And the weird thing is finding uses for what you'd use this chain for. I use it as a kind of room divider that you can kind of walk through. And I just think it's beautiful, especially just in the silver. But the colors are kind of neat too. And it looks great against the wall or just freestanding in a space as a type of divider, and they kind of billow in the wind. But it's a very unusual, weird product, and one that I don't really know what other function I'd use it for other than just decoration. And it's a small company based in Phoenix, and the chains are just really precise and beautiful and unusual, and I just thought they were fun.
This is such a cool product because you can't imagine how hard it must be to actually do this picture on these chains that hang down. I mean, it's a vertical picture with horizontal chains. I mean, have you seen them actually make this?
Oh yeah, they link it all together. They have a computer program that makes it. You can put it. You can design a logo, a company logo, typically into it. But I don't really do that. I just like the chains bare. But they have a whole customization thing that they can do for you.
That's gorgeous. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is beautiful. Wave paneling, 3D paneling.
Yeah, so there's a few of these companies now that have emerged. The first one was Modular Arts, which is still among my favorite, and they make these wall panels that have this wave in them, and you can seam them together and make them just kind of this monolithic thing. And theirs are made out of recycled gypsum, and then you can paint them or uplight them, and you can do a lot of stuff with them. But then now there are also manufacturers that make the same type of wavy patterns out of medium density fiberboard cabinetry stock for where the gypsum wouldn't be strong enough. And these could be everything from wall accents to accent walls to panelized fronts for cabinets to kind of lining. If you have a double height stairwell, it'd be kind of a good spot to do it in. And it's the kind of material that everybody always wants to touch because it's just so interesting.
How is it for durability, though?
Well, even the gypsum ones are pretty strong. You'd almost have to stab it with a screwdriver or something to really damage it. But that would be true for pretty much any material, I would think.
And do you know anything about how they collect the gypsum? Is it post consumer? I mean, do you know anything about that? What they do with that, or is it all from post industrial?
Oh, Modular Arts I think they're using flue glass gypsum, so it's post industrial, and then they take it and then they kind of mold it together, and then they use a CNC machine to kind of route it out and create those interesting patterns, and they just keep adding new patterns all the time. And I like it because it takes what would normally be a pretty flat surface and gives it a real depth and a real kind of real 3D quality to it.
Yeah, I like how it adds a lot of warmth to this wall. Like it gives it, offices tend to look very sterile, and I sometimes I think that impedes creativity. That's just my opinion.
It also gives it a human scale because all the waves they're at just a perfect human scale size. So it gives your eye something to focus on and something to touch, and just really adds to the scale of the space.
Okay, let's go to the last one. Actually, I've known about this company for years, Baltics Workstation, and what I have in front of me is two girls at a workstation. I think this is a university one that they did, and it looks like sunflower seeds or something like that. That's or agri-process. A desk. Tell us a little bit about Baltics.
Well, Baltics has been around for years now, and they were one of the first kind of green office workstation places, and they use agricultural waste, sunflower seeds, wheat board, so forth, and then they also use recycled rubber for some of the bases and edging, and everything in them is just kind of a green thing. And I just think that they create a very well designed, beautiful looking workstation that's unusual. I don't know about you, but I'm just kind of sick of the standard workstations that are available. They all kind of look alike to me, and they don't feel very good. And they're certainly not made very, very healthy. So the Baltics is a great alternative to that.
Well, I actually had one of their products that they used to, you and I were talking offline about it, one of the products that they used to use, which is no longer in business, which is biocomposites.
Yeah.
I actually have one of their tops, and everybody stops in my office and they go, "Oh my God, that's gorgeous!" Because it is. It's beautiful. It's held up tremendously, probably even better than some other products. So I like that look that the Baltics is using. I've always liked it. It's just different. It's unusual. It's unique. Last question, and thank you so much for giving us your top 5 for commercial. Again,
Sure.
some of the people that might be watching this, there might be other engineers, other architects. What advice do you give them to persuade building owners to do something different when they build their buildings or they retrofit them? I mean, everything now is so much into retrofitting because it makes sense from an energy perspective. But what about from a design perspective?
Well, from the energy perspective, obviously that's almost a no-brainer at this point. And for those clients, what I do is I calculate their return on investment ahead of time. So I go into the meeting already knowing how quickly it'll pay for itself. With the design stuff, I try to essentially show them that it's not weird. It's not strange. That sometimes it helps to show them a sample of it instead of just pictures. They can't really tell from pictures. And sometimes it helps just to kind of have them not even stress the ecological benefits, but just let them see how pretty these materials are just on their own, and just let them fall in love with the material in itself. And then afterwards, I say, oh, by the way, this is made from 100% agricultural waste or 100% recycled whatever, and then I think we kind of tend to make decisions in our heart and then kind of justify them in our heads. So just let the beauty speak for itself, and then give them the ammunition to sell it to themselves later on. That's kind of a good way to do it.
And some of the companies that actually have been forward thinking in using some of the materials that you showed us today, what do you think that the tangible benefit has become for their people, their employees? Do you think there's anything that's changed that they feel that's changed with their employees, or what do you think that?
Well, I think using these materials across the board would not only show a commitment that you have to improve the indoor air quality and improving the indoor environment, but also to a commitment to interesting, unique, innovative type design. I mean, we've got studies, and we've had studies for decades now showing that a healthy environment that's free of VOCs and formaldehyde and all that other nonsense makes the workers more productive and happier and healthier, and call in sick less. But I think, to be honest with you, I think there's just this visceral reaction of people. They see these beautiful things and natural light coming in, and interesting new materials, and it just makes them feel better. So maybe that's all the justification we need.
Right, it is, because it's like happy employees, happy employer.
Exactly.
Thank you so much today for giving us
Sure.
both the residential and the commercial. They'll both be up on my site. Tell everybody your URL so they can go look at your portfolio.
Oh, if they want to see more, they can go to organicarchitect.com and check us out, I guess. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.